Yeah, hello all. Today I'm going to create a network load balancer using the application load balancer. So for that, what I have done, so I have created the two EC2 instance, running EC2 instances. So I have created I have created the three EC2 instances. Okay. For creating that network load balancer, I have to create. While creating that network load balancer, it will ask that target instance that I will choose as the application load balancer. So now what we have to do, I have to create that first application load balancer. Okay, we'll go and we'll create the application load balancer. So right, is as discussed in earlier meeting, application load balancer is work as a HTTP and HTTPS based. Okay, so I'm creating that. It's a port based. So it's AWS application test LP. So I'm creating that internet facing. So I'm using as usual default. I'm using that my VPC. So I'm selecting that two availability zones. And I'm now removing that default security group and I want to have it my own security group. So that's why I selected my own security group. So it's this is like HTTP and HTTP based. Okay, so I have I don't have SSL certificate for HTTPS, so I am creating that HTTP based HTTP based one we are creating, and I need to create the target. While creating the target, I need to use that EC2 instances. So this is my target name, ALB target target 1. So I'm using that HTTP port and default as usual. VPC. I'm using here is check path index.html. So I'm selecting my instances. I'm selecting my 3 instances. So I'm including a pending as below and I created my target group. Okay. I created the target group now. So let me refresh here. So I'm selecting my target group name here. And so I am remaining listening tags and all is optional. I am reviewing as well. So this is, we can add this one. So if it is required, now is we are doing the testing, not doing this firewalls, web application firewalls and global accelerator, those things. So I'm now is, this is the my network, all those things, basic configuration. And this is my security group. This is my VPC. This is my subnets. And this is my load balancer routing. Okay, routing rules. Okay, listeners and routings. So I am creating the load balancer. So okay, spaces are not required. So yeah, test ALB. I give as a ALB. Okay. I'm creating the load balancer. Okay, so let it run. So now our target is I need to create that network load balancer, use that as a target as the application load balancer. So okay, now I'm going to create the network load balancer. So I'm selecting this network load balancer. Network load balancer will work as a 3 port based TCP, UDP and TLS. Okay, TCP port means 80 and UDP is 53, TLS means 443. Now I'm giving it AWS Network Load Balancer, Network LB Load Balancer. Okay. So I'm using that in the internet facing because I want to test it properly. I want to show you result. That's why I'm using that internet facing. So I'm using the same thing as IPv4. I am selecting my VPC, my custom VPC. I'm selecting that my availability zones as well. Security group, I will change it. I have created my own security group. I will delete in, I will select my custom security group. So here, if you see here, there is a three is there: TCP, UDP, TLS, and TLS means 443, and UDP means 53 port. The TCP means 80 port. So here is the target. So I'm going to create the target. Okay, so this is target for use for in ALB. I need to create for new one. So using that application load balancer. So I'm going to create. So earlier one is application load balancer purpose. I use this one. Now I don't want to use it. I need to use in application load balancer target. So why I'm creating that application load balancer? If you, for example, if you are using that microservice based application Kubernetes, when you use that Kubernetes services, there is three kind of services we have: cluster IP, node port, and load balancer is that. So when you create that load balancer, that you want to target it in network load balancer, that's why we need for in we have to create the application load balancer. For example, that load balancer also, Kubernetes load balancer also, it will come as a part of it in application load balancer. So that we need to target. That's why I'm creating in application load balancer. So when you are creating that in Kubernetes application, you are using for in network load balancer. For example, your requests are coming for million requests. You already exposed the service to load balancer. That load balancer we are going assuming here, and we are creating this. Okay. So now is I'm giving that target as a network load balancer LP target. So I'm keeping that TCP is already selected. I'm keeping that one. So health is check is from health check is index.html. So remaining I'm keeping same it is. Okay, next I'm going to next. So application load balancer register now, register later. I just keeping is later. I'm selecting it in already registered, right? So I'm selecting the application load balancer name here. Okay. I'm creating the target group now. So once created the target group, here I need to select the target group. Mainly it will work on the target group. So now I created the network target group, right? A network load balancer target group. I'm selecting this one and remaining as usual. See is okay. This is my configuration. Yeah, as you know that application load balancer work as a layer 7 security, and network load balancer work as a layer 4 security. So this is my basic configuration. It's a internet facing. If it is a real time, you can use it. It's a internal facing. Okay, IPv4. This is my security group. This is my VPC. These are my subnets. These are my listeners and routings. So I'm going creating that load balancer. Yeah, yeah. So now is my application load balancer are created and network load balancer are created. So now just I'm going to check it. My application load balancer is working or not. So this is my application load balancer DNS name. So this is internet facing. That's why I'm going adding in here. Okay, see, you look at here. My application load balancer is working. Okay, it's changing now. So now is I will go with my network load balancer and I will check. So this is my network load balancer. So I'm clicking my network load balancer. So I'm copying my network load balancer DNS name. So this is the internet facing. So I'm going to check it now. So it should work. See, it's working now. So when is the request is come real time, when is the Kubernetes application, those times. So we use for in network load balancer, and in backend we use the target as the application load balancer. Okay, guys, this is the way we can create in network load balancer using that in application load balancer. Thank you all.